The sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the ocean in fiery oranges and pinks, as Mark trudged through the warm sand with his 5-year-old daughter, Lily, giggling at his side. He hadn't planned on this beach getaway. It was a last-minute escape from the grind of single parenthood and a demanding job. But fate has a funny way of crashing into your life like an unexpected wave. What if I told you that one chance encounter could shatter a man's guarded heart in seconds? Stick around for this heartwarming tale of love, redemption, and second chances. If you're loving these emotional stories that remind us life can surprise us in the best ways, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel for more. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. Mark adjusted the beach bag slung over his shoulder, filled with sunscreen, snacks, and Lily's favorite pink shovel. It had been 2 years since his wife passed away in a car accident, leaving him to navigate the stormy seas of grief while raising their spirited little girl. By day, he was a mid-level accountant at Apex Innovations, buried under spreadsheets and deadlines. His boss, Victoria Hale, was the epitome of corporate ice: sharp suits, sharper words, and a reputation for freezing out anyone who didn't meet her impossibly high standards. Mark had felt her chill more than once, like the time she dismissed his request for flexible hours to pick up Lily from daycare with a curt, "Personal issues aren't company policy." He respected her drive, but from afar, she seemed untouchable, a fortress of ambition built on solitude. This vacation was his first real break in ages, a rented cottage on the quiet shores of Cape May, far from the city's hustle. Lily squealed as she chased seagulls, her tiny feet kicking up sand. Mark smiled, but his mind wandered to the stack of unread emails waiting back home. "Daddy, look! A castle!" Lily called, pointing to her lopsided sand mound. He knelt beside her, helping to pat down the walls, when a shadow fell over them. He looked up, and his breath caught. There she was, Victoria Hale, in a simple sundress that fluttered in the breeze, her dark hair loose and windswept, a far cry from the boardroom warrior he knew. She was holding a book, her sunglasses perched on her head, and for a split second, their eyes locked. Mark's heart stuttered. "Miss Hale," he stammered, standing up quickly, brushing sand from his shorts. Victoria's expression shifted from surprise to something unreadable. "Mark? What are you doing here?" Her voice was cool, but not the Arctic blast he expected. Lily tugged at his hand. "Daddy, who's the lady?" Before Mark could respond, Victoria's gaze softened as she looked down at Lily. The little girl, ever the bold one, held up her shovel. "Wanna help build our castle? It's gonna have a moat." Mark braced for dismissal, but Victoria hesitated, then crouched down to Lily's level. "A moat? That's smart defense. What's your name, architect?" "Lily," she beamed. "And Daddy's Mark, but you know that." Victoria chuckled, a sound Mark had never heard in the office. "Well, Lily, I'm Victoria. And yes, your daddy works with me." She glanced at Mark, her eyes holding a flicker of something vulnerable. As they started shaping the sand together, Mark felt the awkwardness melt away. But it was when Lily accidentally knocked over a tower that the moment turned magical. "Oh no!" Lily wailed, her lip quivering. Victoria gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "Hey, it's okay. Castles fall sometimes, but that's when we build them stronger." Then, looking straight at Mark with those piercing blue eyes, she said, "Life's like that too, sometimes you have to rebuild from the ruins to find something beautiful." Those words hit Mark like a tidal wave. In seconds, the ice-cold boss he'd feared transformed into a woman with hidden depths, her one sentence echoing his own buried pain. He fell hard, not just for her beauty, but for the empathy that pierced his soul. How did she know? How could she see right through him? As the sun set, they talked. Victoria revealed she'd booked the same beach for a solo retreat, escaping the pressure of running a department where everyone expected perfection. "I push hard because I have to," she admitted, staring at the waves. My parents died young, and I raised my siblings alone. Vulnerability feels like weakness in my world. Mark shared his story, the accident, the sleepless nights, the fear of failing Lily. For the first time, he didn't feel judged. They laughed about office mishaps, like the time he spilled coffee during a presentation, and she confessed she'd admired his resilience. By nightfall, as Lily dozed on a blanket, Mark walked Victoria back to her cottage. "Thank you," he said softly. "For today." She smiled, a real one that reached her eyes. Sometimes, the beach reminds us we're all just human. Their goodbye lingered, charged with unspoken possibility. Back at work the following Monday, the office felt different. Victoria's emails were still direct, but there was a warmth in her "Good morning, team." Mark noticed subtle changes. She approved his flex time without question, even asked about Lily in passing. He wrestled with his feelings. Dating the boss was a minefield. What if it went wrong? He had Lily to think about. Rumors could fly, and his job was his lifeline. One evening, after a grueling deadline, Victoria called him into her office. "Mark, about the beach." She trailed off, fiddling with a pen. "I don't mix work and personal, but that day felt real." His heart raced. "Me too. But it's complicated." She nodded. "I know. I've built walls to protect myself, but seeing you with Lily, it reminded me of what I've missed." Vulnerability cracked her facade. Turns out, Victoria had lost a child years ago in a miscarriage, a secret she'd buried under success. The pain had made her guarded, pushing people away. Mark's story mirrored her own unspoken grief. They decided to take it slow, starting with coffee after hours. Challenges arose quickly. At work, colleagues whispered about favoritism when Mark got a small promotion, earned, but scrutinized. Lily, sensing change, asked endless questions. "Is Victoria your girlfriend, Daddy?" Mark navigated carefully, introducing them gradually. One night, Lily had a meltdown over missing her mom, and Victoria stepped in, reading her a story with such tenderness that Mark's doubts faded. But the biggest hurdle came when a company merger threatened layoffs. Victoria fought for her team, but stress turned her icy again. In a heated meeting, she snapped at Mark over a report error. Hurt, he confronted her later. "Is this how it's going to be? Hot and cold?" Tears welled in her eyes. "I'm scared, Mark. If I lose control, I lose everything." He pulled her into a hug, whispering, "You don't have to do it alone anymore." Together, they faced the storm. Mark helped streamline reports, easing her load, while she opened up about therapy she'd started. The merger passed with minimal cuts, and their bond strengthened. Lily adored Victoria, calling her Aunt Vicky at first, then just Vicky, with hugs that melted the last of the ice. Months later, on that same beach, Mark proposed under the stars. "From one sentence to forever," he said, slipping a ring on her finger. Victoria laughed through tears. Who knew a sand castle could lead to this? Their wedding was small, with Lily as flower girl, scattering petals like dreams. Mark's life, once a solitary struggle, bloomed into a family of 3, soon 4, as Victoria announced her pregnancy. Looking back, Mark realized love isn't about perfect timing, it's about crashing waves that reshape your shore. To anyone out there feeling stuck in grief or isolation, remember, one moment, one sentence, can change everything. Rebuild from the ruins, and beauty awaits. If this story touched your heart, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales that inspire hope and love. What's your beach moment? Share in the comments below, we'd love to hear.